The supply chain of lasers is not completed without the companies who uses those lasers to make micromachining. ILT in the Netherlands makes service using laser for the micromachining needs of their customers. Paul, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's good to see you.
How are you?
Can you tell us a bit of the story of ILT?
I would like to do so. ILT is a company which is 30 years old right now. We come from the University of Enschede in the Netherlands, and we're actually one of the few spin-offs of universities that do micromachining and make production. And we produce laser parts with lasers. We cut, weld, drill parts for fine mechanical industries, for micro industries, for medical industries, as a co-supplier. So different series, but always very hard tasks, very small parts with high tolerances, used in demanding industries. And these demands go on and on and on, and it gets worse actually in dimensions, which means dimensions will become smaller. So we invested very, very roughly into micromachining the last year, and we're in the process of developing micron slits, micron holes in very small parts, metal, plastics and so on, for mainly medical industries and for semiconductors. That's about what we do. We're quite a small company. There are 16 people, highly flexible, 40,000 operational products. We have the tendency to lose ourselves into this flexibility, but we still manage, and we're doing quite well actually.
I'm quite amazed with ILT. At the end of the day, you're a service provider, and many of your customers, perhaps in the watch manufacturing building or in the semicon building, they need this little piece which you can make for them. What happens when they want to ramp up into production?
Well, that's a choice they have, of course. And do we like behavior like this? Well, in fact, we don't care, because the startup always is small. Just small series prototypes and so on for a couple of products, 1, 10, 100, 1,000, that's okay. And then when it remains to these quantities, then nobody wants to buy a system, so we'll just run on forever. But if the quantities get too high, the customer becomes too big, takes too much time on our machines, which means we actually don't want to do it anymore because we'll lose the other customers, and we need to have a very sound customer base, which means that we need a lot of customers. So we're quite pleased if they do so, and if it gets too big, they will just help them and guide them to a system supplier and or a laser supplier. That's what we do.
It is key for Europe to have manufacturing in Europe done by European companies. Whenever it's not possible, we can find companies to make lasers far away, or we can find facilities to put our lasers there. But you play the key role because you connect the customer with his need and with the process that he may need in the future, and that's key. One of the things that makes you so very excited is that I live in the Netherlands. Ik woon in Netherlands.
I know, yeah.
Ik woon in Noordwijk.
Ik weet het.
And it is fantastic to see a Dutch company in this particular market. How being in the Netherlands and being supported by the beautiful Dutch photonic ecosystem has helped the development of ILT?
Well, I have the tendency to make a political remark in this sense, because Holland is small. We've got quite some photonic activities. You're absolutely right there. But what you see in Holland as well is that it's quite scattered, actually, the photonic society. So you have to pick your places where you can find what you need, or where you can find what your customer needs. And that's not always in the Netherlands. So we're looking somewhat broader than just the Dutch borders. A lot of times we go into Germany, Belgium, as we've got our own experience with the system we just bought. We have the tendency to stay inside Europe anyway, because there's a problem in if you go outside, talk about Asia, distance is too long, too big, and certainly for co-supplying what we do, and if you want something special, a system, then language in combination with distance is always a problem. Because we have the idea of just sticking to Europe there. And I'm very happy and pleased that the major suppliers for laser are European companies. So that's easy to handle, I think.
If we think about the main markets for ILT, what would be the one? If you had to choose one market and say we'll focus on that one, what would that be?
Well, we've got one market which is very important for us and which doesn't give us the freedom to choose, which is the semiconductor in Holland. The semiconductor market is enormously important for the Dutch economy at first, but for us as well. We do a lot of work for semicon. Next to that, we are very interested in the medical market, where we already do a lot of work. And that's one of the strategic reasons we just bought a new system with a femto laser, because that is very big importance for the medical market, which gives us an opportunity to get the amount of work we do for the semicon to a lower percentage. So it's semicon, sure, very, very important. Medical, that's number two, and then general fine mechanics, whatever that may be, we'd like to do that. But semicon is too important for us, really important.
The Netherlands is a country, when it comes to technology, built around ASML, and companies who work with them are enabling situations in which they can go to volume production with their customers, but they learn a lot, and they can go with that technology to other niche markets and doing things in the medical with Philips and with the companies enabled technology by Philips, in the oil and gas with Shell, or even in the space with the European Space Agency. The Netherlands is a great country to do technology. The Netherlands is a country to do photonics. One more question. You as ILT, you are an entrepreneur, you created it from the start, and now you can see that everybody is recognizing your company as a competitor with other huge companies when it comes to this service provider. What would have been for you the biggest challenge that you have to create this ILT position that you have today?
A challenge I'm having right now, still have, you mean?
Tell us, complain.
No complaints. My biggest challenge is to get the extra volume we just created in investing in new systems, get that filled, and building a new leg under the company, give it more stability. It's a fairly small company. We want to do a lot of things, and we don't want to be dependent on just a couple of tricks we do with a certain laser. So we need something extra. That's what we're doing right now. And I'm 64 years old right now. Won't be doing this within 10 years, I expect, I hope. But I still have the ambition to get this into a success and get this extra leg under the company for providing services to our customers. You're absolutely right there. And to leave something behind which is stable and which has continuity. I think that's simple.
And how can EPIC help you on that?
You already did. You once invited me a couple of years ago, and we had a conference, you know that of course, in Vilnius, and that was my absolutely best conference I ever had, because it gave me a lot of contacts and a lot of cooperation with Lithuanian firms. We're still working with them. I will be in Vilnius next week. So you already did a lot of good work there. What you see is our position in the photonics market is that we're a customer. We use photonics to make some relatively simple mechanical parts with it. So we're not in the supplying business for photonics, we're an end user actually, which gives us a special position in EPIC as well, which is why we're somewhat cautious always if we can add something to what you ask. That's where our position is. But I think the platform itself, in combination with the companies that we have there, are very interesting to talk with. So I really like being part of EPIC. This is advertising from my side.
As I said before, no supply chain is complete without the user. Thank you for being the EPIC laser user. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much.